Theft, for example, is a crime that is easily understood. People can be hungry, for example, and poor. But it's actually quite often with other crimes as well that they are quite understandable when you hear the story of the delinquent in question. Like, for example, they grew up in a typical household where their parents did not love them. And they didn't do well in school and nobody looked out for them. And as you do when you are depressed, they turn to drugs, which then resulted in financial hardships and ultimately being in debt. The equally tragic underling that they had been buying those drugs from would then obviously recruit them into what is only at first merely the selling of drugs. And before you know it, you are kidnapping children and stealing bicycles. And while it is rare, potentially before you know even more, you are the CEO of a multinational corporation committing atrocious acts on a global scale. Crime is often done by people who are lost. And people who are lost, it stands to reason, will end up in places they did not intend to travel to. That is how mafia works. Those people who are the people who do crime have not chosen it. Unfortunately, this has to be regarded as a lie, as it is not true. It is only something that can be true. People who do crime may not have wanted it that way. There are many, if not multitudinous roads that lead to Rome. And some of them are indeed built entirely against the wishes of the people who end up in Rome. While I wish for it to be true that nobody would ever choose to engage in behavior that harms others, I am cursed with the knowledge that such a thing is not the case. There are people in our society who are unconcerned by the adversity that their fuckery introduces into the lives of others. Or, in other words, there are people in our society who are shamelessly malicious. How do I know this, you ask? I work retail. There are always proverbial motherfuckers who take one thing, change their mind, and leave it someplace else, for example. You also have the infamous expirancy scrabblers, who are the people who leave the shelves in a devastated state after having searched for the youngest expiry date. And then there are people who bastardishly leave behind their fucking shopping carts. Unless you have just ascended to heaven, that is something you choose to do. In fact, all shitty customer behavior is things that are not done because people are forced to because of tragic circumstances. No, these are things that people do because they don't give a fuck. And these people, there are a lot of them. The idea that humans are inherently kind is naive to the fucked degree. It is nice of you to think so positively if you do, but if you genuinely think that humanity is like fantastic or whatever, you need to find another place to live, as you are currently living under a rock. Get out of your bed and put your feet on the street. Naive ideologies like capitalism and anarchism do not account for human bastardishness. I think it's quite alarming that so many people are so out of touch that they buy into these sorts of things. Step out of your artificial internet bubble and make an effort to navigate society a bit and see for yourself how bad it is with the human race. If your ideology only works if it were true that humankind was kind, then your ideology does not work because humankind is not kind. The simple fact is that we live in a society that, to put it mildly, does not exclusively consist of good people.